Hello, Brighteon.tv fans. This is Dr. Ardis and the Dr. Ardis Show. Hope you're having a great week. I'm very excited for this presentation we're going to do today. Big news in the news this week. Obviously, April 10th, 2023, Joe Biden has now written and signed a document stating that the national emergency of COVID-19 is over officially. Thank God. Tired of listening and talking about COVID. And it's time to move past COVID anyway. This is actually earlier than what was anticipated. They expected to actually do this on May 11th, but they took action now because Congress actually passed that this should end, and Joe Biden finally agreed. So that is exciting. So that's done. Thank God. All right, so we're going to move on and educate people now beyond COVID, and we're going to start today with a presentation on this entire show is about how to beat gout and how gout is actually correlated to kidney disease and liver issues in the food you eat. And then I'm going to teach you how to beat it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Dr. Ardis Show. I'm your host, Dr. Brian Ardis. I'm excited for these next two 22-minute segments. The first sponsor for this actual segment is the NorthTexasHealingCenter.com. If you are struggling with symptoms or a disease process and you just believe you can live a symptom-free life and a drug-free life, please contact the North Texas Healing Center today at NorthTexasHealingCenter.com and let them help you find a path to healing. Our second sponsor is MyPillow.com. Use the promo code DOCTOR. They have some new flip-flops they're offering, foam-based flip-flops, new pillows, mattress toppers, you name it. Go there, use the promo code DOCTOR, and you can actually save up to 66% off on all kinds of things they're offering right now. So when you're thinking about your home and items in your home, please support Mike Lindell and MyPillow and the Dr. Ardis Show by using the promo code at checkout, DOCTOR. And then Brighteon.tv fans, you know, BrighteonStore.com and Mike Adams' platform. Anything you need there as far as anything you can't find at MyPillow.com or the DrArdisShow.com, go there and use the promo code DOCTORS. You'll save 5% off anything immediately that you're purchasing at BrighteonStore.com. And then GraithCare.com, use the promo code ARDIS, ARDIS, for a discount. If you need advocacy help for a loved one in a hospital, or you need help with just improving your overall health and having someone coach you through how to live a drug-free life as much as possible, to review your medical history, educate you and coach you through diet, and help you reclaim your health. And if you want my input on a case, you can actually choose the AAA option. And there, I actually will spend some time reviewing your medical information the advocates at GraithCare will get and take from you and collect. And then I will do a video consult for you and tell you where I would start to start the process of healing. All right. In this presentation for the next several minutes, about 40 minutes or so, I'm going to take you through a presentation we built out explaining how and what gout is, how it's implicated in kidney disease actually, and how it can lead to worsening kidney disease. And then what are the lies in the media about gout and in the pharmaceutical and medical industry about gout? Just so you know, I used to suffer with gout for 10 years. So I know what it's like to live with gout and suffer through the pain in your joints caused by gout. There are a lot of drugs that are being prescribed for the 8 million Americans struggling with gout right now, 6 million men, 2 million women. But I want you to know, you don't need any drugs to beat gout. I'm going to teach you exactly what causes gout and how I reversed my own and what you can do at home to beat it yourself. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. It's the first time I've done this through Zoom. I'm going to show a keynote presentation, which is Apple's IMAX version of like Microsoft's PowerPoint. So let's just hope this all works out very well. I prefer that platform anyway. So here we go. Let's share the screen and we're going to present away. Let's hide this little floating menu. All right, here we go. Gout, what it is and how to beat it. 8.3 million Americans are suffering with this thing. Let's help you beat it. Gout is a type of inflammatory arthritis, so joint pain, according to the National Kidney Foundation, that affects 8.3 million adults, 6.1 million men, 2.2 million women, and that represents almost 4% of the entire United States adult population. So when I say I know there's a lot of people dealing with this around the country and around the world, I know they are because I've had it and it was awful. And I haven't had any symptoms whatsoever for 20 years. And I totally handled it with diet and with supplementation. So I'm going to teach you how we do it and what you do. Gout is caused by hyperuricemia, which is uric acid. Hyper or excess uric acid, called hyperuricemia, is a condition where there's too much uric acid in your body. I'm going to show you a diagram here in a minute, how the body makes uric acid and why someone would make too much of it. When your body breaks down purines, which are found in food, it makes uric acid. Purines are present in your body and found in the food you eat. Too much uric acid in your body can result in the formation of uric acid crystals called monosodium urate, which can build up in your joints and cause discomfort. Uric acid homeostasis. All right, now this is just a diagram I wanted to share with you that I found online that makes it very simple to show you how it is the body makes the symptoms of gout through uric acid production. You'll see at the top left of the diagram, it says purines consumed in the diet. You'll see a little, weird drawing, elementary drawing of a human swallowing food. And purines are found high in amounts in a lot of foods, not just the three in parentheses. They have listed here meat, organ meat, and alcoholic beverages. When you eat these foods that are high in purines, your body's liver is going to break them down and form what is called a uric acid. Uric acid you see in red in the middle, it says a uric acid pool. A whole bunch of uric acid is then dumped out of the liver into your intestines and into your kidneys. And as you see, the uric acid is then either eliminated through your intestines. A third of all the uric acid you make is going to be pooped out of your intestines. 2/3 of all the uric acid your liver is going to make from the food you eat is eliminated through your kidneys. So if there's kidney disease issues, your kidneys cannot filter the uric acid. It'll get built up in your kidneys and create more and more problems. So this is the correlation between April 2023, this month being Kidney Awareness Month, and gout. I figured if there's 8 million Americans struggling with this, I might as well teach you how not to, right? All right. So you will see also on here next to the drawing of the kidney, you'll see an X, and they actually list several different commonly brand name drugs and the generic names of drugs used to reduce how much uric acid is reabsorbed into the body through the kidneys. On the bottom left, you'll see in the box, you'll see purine metabolites that your liver makes from the food you eat. And then an enzyme called xanthine oxidase in blue is what converts those purines into what is called uric acid. And then there's an enzyme called uricase, not found in humans, that is in a drug called Krystexxa that they use to help break down uric acid. So you'll see there's a list here in brown of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different drugs used right now for gout that none of you need. And we're going to take you through what the dangers are of those drugs and why you shouldn't use them anyway. All right. What are the symptoms of gout? Signs and symptoms of gout almost always occur very suddenly and often at night. And I'll explain why here in just a minute. They include intense joint pain. Gout usually affects the big toe, but it can occur in any joint. Other commonly affected joints include the ankles, knees, elbows, wrists, and fingers. The pain is likely to be most severe within the first 4 to 12 hours after the pain starts. Lingering discomfort, which is what I hated. I would always have this severe pain like on a Monday, and it would last all the way through Friday. It hurt my feet to run in basketball and play in high school and college, you name it. Lingering discomfort after the most severe pain subsides. Some joint discomfort may last a few days to a few weeks. Mine always lasted about a week. Later attacks are likely to last longer and affect more joints. Inflammation and redness. The affected joint or joints become swollen, tender, warm, and red, and it is awful. Limited range of motion. As gout progresses, you may not be able to move your joints normally. Here's a picture of what the area of the big toe typically is affected as the first most common sign that you have gout. Is usually your big toe is going to start screaming with pain. And you will see the little diagram of the big toe joint with this purple circle with a drawing of uric acid crystals. It's not really what it looks like, but it's a good visual. The gout flare occurs, as it reads on the diagram, occurs over several hours and involves severe pain, swelling, redness, and warmth. And then potentially affected joints are your wrist, fingers, knee, ankles, and toes. As you see the red swollen joints there. It can happen in any joint in your entire body. I was going to explain this though, why it usually occurs suddenly and often at night. Your liver detoxes at night between the hours of 1 and 3 a.m., which is typically when the liver will dump the majority of the uric acid into your intestines. I just wanted to explain that. All right, so lies in the media about gout. This is actually on the same day Joe Biden signed a document stating the emergency of the pandemic of COVID is over. April 10th, 2023, you can see it. This is just an example. I found this online. I just wanted to share it. In the Irish News newspaper, online journal, April 10th of this year, the same month we're in right now. The title of the article is Gout is on the Rise. So why do so few patients get treatment they need? And then it states in the blue highlighted subtitle of the article online, cases of gout are on the rise, but the condition is misunderstood and few patients get the treatment they need. This is one of the reasons why I am going to now help you understand this condition so you can share this presentation with other people, because supposedly mainstream media is letting us know nobody even really understands this condition. Well, I understand this condition and I know how to beat it. So I'm going to teach you how to do it. Why they haven't figured it out, I don't know. But here we go. Let's look at the first line in this article, and you'll see it highlighted in red here. This person in his 20s is diagnosed with gout in Ireland. This is what he said this month. I thought gout was all about too much good living in older people, not men in their 20s, admits Harry, who lives in London. Next slide. Okay, so first lie is this does not just happen in old people. It happened to me in my teenage years and in my 20s. And this is very commonly known. This isn't new. And then new figure suggests the so-called disease of kings is on the rise. Now, why do they call it disease of kings? Because they believe these rich foods that only rich people could afford, kings, would cause symptoms of joint pain because the peasants couldn't get access to those kind of foods. We're going to go through all those foods here a little bit later. So the so-called disease of kings is on the rise, with the hospital admissions for gout surging. It is thought this increase is largely a result of lack of exercise and poor diet during successive lockdowns. That's a flat out lie. Gout is not caused by a lack of exercise. It is, however, poor diet, but not because of successive lockdowns. That's ridiculous. People have had gout, even me, way before the pandemic, and had nothing to do with lockdowns. So do not believe this has anything to do with the lockdowns. It doesn't. The number of cases has risen by 20% in 3 years. All right, so the entire period of the pandemic, number of cases just in Ireland alone have increased and skyrocketed by 20%, with 234,000 patients admitted to hospitals with gout in 2021 to 2022, according to figures last month by the National Health Services. About 1.5 million people in the UK are affected by this agonizing condition, according to the charity Arthritis UK. Yet experts say that while lifestyle can trigger flare-ups, this is another lie, by the way, genetics play a more significant role in who develops gout in the first place. Harry's father also had gout, for instance. This is not a genetic issue. In fact, if you want to know why Harry has the same gout his dad does, I guarantee you his dad had the same diet and passed that same diet and the habitual action of eating the same foods to his son, who he raised in his home. Guarantee you they all ate the same foods and now have the same symptoms. Unrelated to genetics. All right. I had gout. Nobody in my entire family's ever had gout. I'll teach you how and why. Below there, you'll see the link to the actual article. This presentation will be on our website, by the way, and you can actually download it and actually share it later. And it is feared that outdated perception of gout as both self-inflicted, which it is, and transient are preventing thousands of people from receiving medication to prevent attacks. You do not need drugs to beat gout. Just so you know, that's another lie the media is telling you still to this day, that you need drugs to beat it. All right. So gout and kidney disease. There's several things that increase your risk of having gout. Kidney disease is one of the leading causes of gout. Why? Because if you have kidney disease, which means you're probably on a pharmaceutical drug that actually injures your kidneys, it's going to reduce the ability of the kidneys to actually secrete and break down uric acid and turn it into urine for you to pee it out. So yes, if you have kidney issues, that increases your risk. Kidney disease can lead to gout, and gout may lead to kidney disease, as I was just describing. When you have gout, you have too much uric acid in your blood. As your blood is filtered through your kidneys, uric acid can build up and form urate crystals. As the crystals pass through your kidneys, they can cause damage and scarring. This kidney damage is thought to lead to kidney disease and failure over time, especially if your gout is left untreated. Well, we're not going to treat it. We're just going to get rid of it. All right. Now, they keep telling you in the media you need drugs for everything to beat everything and a vaccine. You do not. So this is what I'm about to do for the next bit of this presentation for this 22-minute segment. We're going to spend the next 8 minutes, and I'm going to go over common treatments and pharmaceutical drugs that are being prescribed around the world for gout. Okay? And you and your loved ones are probably on these. Allopurinol, otherwise known as Uric or Xyloprim. You can see a picture of them to your right. All right, we're going to go through the toxic side effects of these drugs, and I want to highlight the first one. Everyone look at allopurinol. Look at the very first side effect they list actually on drugs.com. An increase in gout attacks when you first start taking allopurinol orally. Oh, really? Okay, great. That sounds great. Who doesn't want more gout pain? Okay. Any skin rash, no matter how mild, can occur as a toxic side effect. Painful urination or blood in the urine. Okay, that tells you there's horrific tearing, hemorrhaging, bleeding of the inside of your kidneys. I'm not sure that's helpful when it comes to gout problems. Little or no urination, that's even worse. Now you're not peeing out the uric acid, and where is it going to go? It's going to go down to your feet and into all your joints. Easy bruising and unusual bleeding, not good either. That means you're bleeding internally. So these are side effects to the capillaries in your body that are actually becoming more fragile and will rupture. Picture now Coumadin in the elderly. You'll see a lot of elderly people with these splotchy blood marks all over their body and bruising. That's because Coumadin, a blood thinner, crystallizes your arteries and veins at the same rate, and the small, thin capillaries crystallize first. And then when the elderly tap, doesn't have to be an elderly, but if you tap a doorknob, touch a wall, you actually will rupture those capillaries open and you bleed out internally in your skin. Eventually, all your arteries and veins will crystallize, and then you'll have an aneurysm and a stroke, and you will die as a side effect of those blood thinning drugs. This is no different than what you're seeing right here with allopurinol. All right, numbness, tingling, burning pain, worsening gout symptoms. Oh, I think I want that drug. And then liver problems. Okay, well, the liver is what makes uric acid. Why do we want to create more liver problems? Okay, loss of appetite, weight loss, stomach pain, upper right side pain, itching, dark urine, clay-colored stools, jaundice, yellowing of the skin or eyes. Joint pain. You already have joint pain with gout. Why would you go on a drug that has now 3 listed worsening gout symptoms or joint pain issues, and then abnormal liver functioning tests? All right, next drug that they've commonly prescribed is called Uric, or the brand name Fubexostat, or vice versa. It's the same drug. So Uric is the brand name. Febuxostat would be the generic name. This is another uric acid gout drug commonly prescribed. Very first listed side effect on drugs.com is gout flare-ups. Okay, this is just about ridiculous. All right, nausea, joint pain. Gout is joint pain. Rash all over your body, not a good idea. Inaccurate liver function test results. Well, that's great. How are you going to know if they're accurate or inaccurate? Okay. All right, now I'm going to highlight this because on healthline.com, you'll see the link below on the screen. They actually list Uric, Febuxostat, serious side effects. Liver injury is a serious side effect published about this drug. I highlighted in the middle, discomfort in the upper right part of your abdomen and the jaundice, fatigue, lack of appetite, and dark urine. These are your serious side effects of Uric. And we're going to keep going. The serious side effects don't end with the liver. Then they have heart attack symptoms published to be caused by Uric, Febuxostat, the drug for gout. Once you start taking this, there is a risk for heart attack. They tell you there is, which you'll know is occurring a heart attack if you have chest pain after starting Uric, shortness of breath after starting Uric, discomfort in your upper body, cold sweats, nausea, vomiting, sudden and unexplainable dizziness, and extreme fatigue, per healthline.com. Then it goes on to say another serious side effect of Uric is not only heart disease and liver injury, heart attacks and liver failure, it's strokes also. Sounds like a win. If you already have joint pain, why not have a stroke to go along with it? Strokes. These are the symptoms if you start taking Uric that causes you to have a stroke. Weakness or numbness in one part or side of the body, slurred speech, sudden confusion, trouble seeing in one or both of your eyes. Blindness is not better than having pain. Sudden trouble walking, dizziness or loss of balance or coordination, sudden and unexplainable severe headache. These all sound like wonderful side effects of taking a drug to reduce pain, doesn't it? Any of your loved ones on that drug, you should have them consult with their medical doctor to get off of this stuff, and then show them this presentation. All right, now, even more disturbing, Uric, Febuxostat, has an FDA black box warning, and I'm going to show you from the FDA's website what the black box warning is. And here it is. I screenshotted it for you. Uric for gout, generic name Febuxostat, has an FDA black box warning, and on the FDA's website right now. Issued on November 15th, which is my birthday, 2017. Read the highlighted title of the black box warning article on the FDA's website. FDA adds boxed warning for increased risk of death with gout medicine, Uric. Okay. I don't know about you, but nobody on this damn planet should be taking this drug. And shame on the FDA for allowing people to still prescribe this drug. It's awful. Now I'm going to highlight inside of the FDA's article information for you. Here's where the FDA black box warning that it can cause death comes from. I highlight it in blue from their article. Uric for gout showed an increased risk of heart-related deaths and deaths from all causes. Not just heart deaths, but deaths from all causes were increased. Now I'm going to highlight another section of this so you can see it, because this bothers me. They were comparing Uric to the first drug I showed you, allopurinol. Okay. In addition, they found there were 26 deaths from any cause per every 1,000 patients treated for a year, just 1 year of using Uric, compared to 22 deaths per 1,000 patients treated for a year with allopurinol. Now, allopurinol is the drug I showed you, is the other drug for gout I just showed you before this drug. I just want to bring this to your attention. The FDA was just shocked by research studies confirming 26 people for every 1,000 died from all causes within 1 year of starting Uric, otherwise known as febuxostat on the top right you see on the screen. Compared to allopurinol, who only had 22 deaths per 1,000, they actually did not apply a black box warning to allopurinol, only to the drug on top, febuxostat or Uric. Don't you find that odd that allopurinol killed 4 less people than Uric did, but Uric got the black box warning, but they don't care about the 22 people that died for every 1,000 of allopurinol? I don't think either one of you, any one of these drugs should be prescribed to anybody with gout. And if you have a loved one who does, this information should piss you off, and you should go demand your doctor take you off those drugs. All right. This is pegloticase and its toxic side effects. I want to highlight for you. This is called Cristexa. It was actually on that first chart where I showed you how uric acid is formed in the body. They tell you when they use this drug. I just want you to see toxic side effects include gout flares. I don't know anybody that wants another gout flare. And then you'll see all the other ones. Chest pain, discomfort, or tightness. That's evidence of a heart attack. Difficulty in labor breathing. Another one for heart attack. And liver problems and gallbladder pain. Difficulty swallowing. Yeah, we don't need to eat. Dizziness, facial swelling. That's called angioedema. Very toxic and worrisome. Who doesn't want their face to swell? Fast heartbeats, fever or chills, flushing or redness, welts, itching or skin rash, joint pain. You already have joint pain. Why do you want to take something that might add more joint pain? Toxic side effects listed on drugs.com for probenecide for gout, worsening gout symptoms. Okay, good. Don't take this. This is bad. You also can have puffy eyes, swelling in your ankles or feet, and weight gain. All right, we're going to continue this right back on the other side of the next commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Dr. Ardis Show. We were just talking about probenecide and its toxic side effects. This is a drug prescribed for gout. In the first 22 minutes, we discussed 2 other drugs, Uric and albuterol, which are actually used for gout. And the FDA black box warnings that they increase death by all causes when you take the drug for less than 1 year. All right, this is the next drug, probenecide, worsening gout symptoms. I want to highlight this: puffy eyes, the second to the last one on the screen, swelling in your ankles or feet, and weight gain. I don't think ankles and feet swelling helps gout symptoms, which is ankle, feet, big toe pain, joint swelling. Common other treatments: pharmaceutical drugs for gout, colchicine. I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce it. Colchicine. Colchicine's toxic side effects, as I found on drugs.com, and I have the link on the screen. Muscle pain or weakness. So if you start taking this drug or know somebody that does and they're very weak, you can look at the side effects here. If your loved one has numbness or tingling feeling in your fingers or toes, that's a side effect of this drug. Pale or gray appearance of your lips, tongues, or hands. That means your heart's being damaged and it's reducing blood flow circulation to your extremities and to your face and skin. And your skin will go pale or gray in color with reduced oxygen and blood flow. Severe or ongoing vomiting or diarrhea. Yeah, toe pain, big toe pain, ankle pain, Why don't we go vomit diarrhea in the bathroom? Fever, chills, body aches, flu symptoms, easy bruising, unusual bleeding. I don't think those are positive either. Nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, and diarrhea. All right, now it's time to get into the natural solutions. My favorite part. Do not trust the drugs they promote for gout. We're going to teach you how to do it. As we showed in the first diagram of how the person who struggles with gout, all of us are eating foods, and in our food, a lot of foods, there are what are called purines. Purines are converted into uric acid, which then is dumped into your colon and into your kidneys. And we're now going to teach you, and the last part of this presentation is going to be the foods that you need to address and how to do an elimination diet to address removing it. All right. March 9th, 2009, this is an article peer-reviewed and published of a natural solution, vitamin C, for gout. And you will see I have my Immune C formulation, which is my vitamin C product at the drardisshow.com. So this is a prospective study by Hyun K. Choi, MD, et al. And this was done in 2009. I want to share with you the highlights from this study titled Vitamin C Intake and the Risk of Gout in Men. Remember, of the 8 million Americans, 6 million are men who have gout. So here we go. I'm going to read from inside the article under section 5.2. Epidemiological data from a cross-sectional study in 9,010 subjects from the general population showed that the dietary intake of vitamin C was significantly lower, so low vitamin C supplemented, in hyperuricemic subjects. So people with gout were supplementing less vitamin C compared to those with normal serum uric acid amounts. So those with normal serum uric acid had higher amounts of vitamin C daily they took. And then another large prospective study proposed a close relationship between high dietary vitamin C intake and low future risk of gout in men and women. The increased dietary vitamin C intake of 1.5 gram, which is 1,500 milligrams per day, led to a 45% lower risk of incident of gout. Several investigators have suggested that vitamin C has a uricosuric property to reduce uric acid and therefore might be considered for the management of gout, which is caused by hyperuric acid, called hyperuricemia. Okay, so as we've been promoting through COVID and how to keep your immune system strong, the very first thing I came out with 3 years ago talking about that everybody needed to be supplementing was vitamin C in relationship to immune support. Well, here you're going to read that vitamin C also helps to lower uric acid load in the body. And that's actually from the mdpi.com website research paper. Now, the higher vitamin C intake, I'm going to read the conclusion from this same quoted article on the Journal of American Medical Association's website. Read the highlighted blue part. Higher vitamin C intake is independently associated with a lower risk of gout. So the more vitamin C you take, the lower your risk of gout. Supplemental vitamin C intake may be beneficial in the prevention of gout. Thank God they recognized its potential. All right, I have never recommended 1.5 grams of vitamin C ever. I always take a minimum 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. Now, you can do the 1.5 grams as recommended here, which is 1,500 milligrams daily to help prevent and reduce gout symptoms. But I would always recommend vitamin C be taken at bowel tolerance. So start at 1,000 milligrams, go up to 2, 3, 4, and 5 a day until you reach diarrhea loads, and then back that down to whatever was the dose you took that did not cause a bowel movement to be loose. With vitamin C, every time you swallow any vitamin C, within 2 hours, you pee it all out. So to help reduce the amount of uric acid your loved one's having or you're having to have gout symptoms, I would recommend you split up vitamin C 3 times a day because you're going to eat at least 3 times a day, I'm hoping. But you want to put vitamin C into the body to continue to help reduce uric acid production in the body from the purine dense foods you're eating. So vitamin C is very beneficial. Now, the next natural solution published in the medical journals and research studies is NAC. I abbreviated in the title of this particular slide, but N-acetylcysteine is what NAC stands for. This study is titled Dietary Antioxidant Supplements, which is what NAC is, and uric acid in chronic kidney disease. This was published, peer-reviewed, and published in 2019, right before the pandemic. You can see the reference down there below. I'm going to read from the article. NAC is a powerful scavenger of ROS, which is oxidative stress molecules, that protects cells and tissues from oxidative damage and has repeatedly been shown to be an effective antioxidant in chronic kidney disease patients. Data from in-labs and in-body trials, human trials, they suggest that NAC might also prevent the oxidative stress caused by elevated uric acid. In human vascular endothelial cells, so inside of your cells, uric acid stimulated the overproduction of radical oxidative stress and intracellular oxidative stress, so stress inside your cells, and led to subsequent cell death. Uric acid is causing oxidative stress to be accelerated and is increasing cell death. Uric acid does. And then they state treatment with antioxidant NAC and acetylcysteine, even at small doses of 10 micromoles per liter, successfully ameliorated the apoptotic or cell death causing procedure that is mediated by hyperuricemia, which is gout and oxidative stress. Similarly, gout mice exhibited enhanced oxidative stress and increased insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. Administration of NAC directly blocked the hyperuric acid production induced insulin resistance and suppressed both oxidative stress and uric acid levels. Woohoo! NAC, what would I recommend for you? 1,000 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams a day. You can pick it up at the drardisshow.com. That's what it looks like there. My actual product. The next natural published solution for gout that I would recommend is quercetin. And from Cambridge University's Press, I have a research article titled Quercetin Lowers Blood Uric Acid Level in Pre-Gout Males. This is a randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled crossover trial. You'll see the link down there. Quercetin, as you read about and heard about from Dr. Zev Zelenko and others during COVID, they called that a zinc ionophore, to force zinc into the cells to help prevent worse outcomes for COVID. Inside of this article about quercetin and gout. In this randomized controlled trial, supplementing with quercetin at 500 milligrams per day for 4 weeks, progressively reduced plasma concentrations of uric acid without inducing changes in BMI, in fasting blood glucose, or showing any adverse effects. This is very key. Not only did supplementing 1 capsule of quercetin, like you see here, every day for 4 weeks, that reduced uric acid and had 0 impact on fasting blood glucose, or had 0 negative adverse effects. You know what's amazing about that? Every single drug I just showed you that they're telling you should take to beat gout has horrific side effects, including death for some of them, when quercetin has none. Isn't that amazing? Why aren't they promoting that in the medical literature? All right, next one is magnesium for gout. Title of this article that I'm showcasing here is Dietary Magnesium Intake and Hyperuricemia Gout Among U.S. Adults. This is published in 2018. See the link down below. Their conclusions from this study on magnesium and how it affects gout. Our findings presented a negative correlation between dietary magnesium intake and gout in both males and females among U.S. adults after adjusting a major confounding factor. The intake of magnesium of American adults was significantly lower than their respective recommended daily allowance provided by the FDA. So most American adults aren't getting enough magnesium. Man, do I talk about magnesium all the time. If you haven't seen it, your teenage kids have probably seen it. But man, everywhere I go now, somebody will mention to me that I'm a celebrity TikTok doc, or I'm the magnesium doc they see on TikTok. There's tons of millions of viewed videos about me talking about the benefits of magnesium. To continue in the conclusion of this study on magnesium and gout, the final statement is this. This study indicated the importance of recommended daily allowances of magnesium and the potential function of magnesium intake in the prevention of gout, and suggested that deficient magnesium intake may increase the risk of gout. This is one of the many benefits of magnesium. I recommend magnesium every day. You should be taking a minimum of 500 milligrams a day. Do not trust the FDA's recommended daily allowance. That is never enough for magnesium. At a minimum, it should be magnesium at 500 milligrams a day. And you can get that at the Dr. Ardis Show too. You can see it right there, my version that I released a couple of years ago. All right, now gout. There's another natural solution called taurine, and I carry taurine. If you haven't seen the interviews I did with Dr. Stephanie Seneff and her book, Toxic Legacy, talking about glyphosate and its impact on neurological disease, autism, gastrointestinal disease, learning difficulties, ADD, ADHD, depression, you name it. I talked about taurine at length. In fact, a year and a half ago or so, when I did that interview with Stephanie Seneff from MIT, and her book, Toxic Legacy, is when I released my taurine product. I'm going to actually just talk about taurine as in respect to gout here, because I want to provide natural solutions to you. This is the title of the article that actually was published in 2017. Taurine decreased uric acid levels in gout rats and alleviated kidney injury. Alleviated kidney injury. That is massively important, because these crystals floating through your kidneys can cause massive damage. This study was done by Yingfeng et al. And the rest of the people there. And you can see the Science Direct article link on this slide. And you can download this presentation online at our website. Inside of this study on taurine, the results showed that taurine alleviated kidney morphological, which is disease, and pathological changes, as well as kidney dysfunction in gout rats. Taurine could efficiently decrease the elevated xanthine oxidase, so decrease the elevated xanthine oxidase activities in gout rats, which creates uric acid from purines, indicating its effect on the regulation of uric acid formation. So if you supplement taurine, it reduces how much uric acid your liver will make from purine food you're eating. So this is a great adjunct to that. And you can find taurine at the drardisshow.com. Now it's time to get into the foods. We have about 8 minutes left in this presentation. Gout is totally caused by purines found in foods. The foods highest in purines that you want to avoid are on the screen right now. When I, 20 years ago, learned about my gout symptoms from an endocrinologist in a lecture, this guy actually just said these 3 foods. He goes, what we know is that gout is caused primarily by red meat, red wine, and cheese. Well, at the time, I was a very active Mormon in the Mormon church. I never drank wine. So that wasn't an issue, but I did like red meat and I like cheese, and I ate them every week. So I'll tell a little bit of a story about how I beat gout in my 20s, just knowing those 3 foods were high in purines. But this is just information coming forward 20 years later. There's been much more studies done. Anchovies, sardines, scallops and mussels, tuna, codfish, herring and haddock, wild game meats like goose and duck, organ meats such as brains, heart, kidney, liver, and sweetbreads, gravy, sauces made with meat, yeast extracts taken in the form of a supplement, and alcohol, especially beer and wine, red wine particularly. All right, so those are the foods with the highest purines. Now, moderate purine foods are also listed. You want to limit these. If I had gout, I would limit all of these, but you want to limit these, they recommend online, to 4 to 6 ounces each day if you're going to eat them. Meat and poultry, crab, lobster, oyster, and shrimp. And then as far as vegetables, you want to limit the following to a half a cup each day, because they have moderate amounts of purines. Asparagus, cauliflower, spinach, mushrooms, green beans, green peas, lentils, limit to 1 cup each day. Oats and oatmeal, limit to 2/3 of a cup uncooked each day. Wheat, germ, and bran, limit to 1/4 of a cup each day. These are the moderate purine foods. Always focus on these high purine foods first, figure out which ones you're eating all the time or drinking all the time, and start eliminating it. Now, these are the lowest purine foods. I would focus on making sure these are a part of your meals every day. Eggs, nuts, and peanut butter, even though I don't like peanut butter, but eggs and nuts are great. Low fat and fat-free cheese and ice cream. I would do coconut-based ice creams and cheeses and almond stuff. Skim milk, I don't like milk at all for cows, but you can have it. But skim or 1% milk would be better than whole milk for sure when it relates to purines. Soups made without meat extract or broth, vegetables that are not on the medium purine list, like I just listed. All fruit and fruit juices are on the low purine foods list. Bread, pasta, rice, cake, cornbread, popcorn, water. I would not recommend soda, even though it's on their list online. Tea, coffee, and cocoa. Sugar, sweets, and gelatin don't have a lot of purines, which is great because that's what's converted into uric acid, fats, and oils. Also, I would recommend increasing your water intake. For those with gout, they recommend half of your weight in ounces of water a day. This will help your body get rid and flush and dilute uric acid. You want to maintain a healthy weight. Regular exercise and maintain a healthy weight will take the stress off of your joints. Now, once you identify what your high purine food or moderate purine food is you're eating every day, this is actually a screenshot from drjockers.com, the fellow chiropractor that we actually just took from his website and applied here. I'll give him all the credit. Number one step in doing a successful elimination diet is one, avoid the most common irritants. So look at the highest purine food list and the moderate food purine list and look at your diet and figure out which one you're eating the most often. Pick one that you're eating the most often, every other day, every 3 days, every 4 days, or every day, and eliminate that from your diet. I mean, cold turkey, just stop it and eat anything else. And then your red labels, just pick one food at a time. Red labels or read labels. Use a food journal every day. You should be writing down everything you're eating and drinking and how severe your gout symptoms are for several months. And then begin adding food back in a slow and intentional manner. You can also download online elimination diets and how to follow them. It's basically removing one food for 2 weeks and seeing how your body feels, and then reintroduce that food and see how you feel that day or the next day or the next day. And then you want to observe for changes in your symptoms, like number 5 states. If you eliminate, let's say you believe it's oysters that are your primary purine food and you are the culprit for your gout, and you eliminate oysters for 2 weeks, and then you reintroduce oysters and no pain subsided in the 2 weeks of avoiding oysters, and then you eat the oysters later and you still have the same symptoms and there's no change. That's not the food that's causing your gout. If, however, you stop eating oysters and you think that's your food, and over the next 2 weeks, you see a gradual improvement in your gout symptoms and pain, and then you reintroduce the food 2 weeks later and you have an exacerbation of your pain, that is a culprit food. And you just need to get rid of it out of your diet for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, forever. Just so you know, my actual experience was when I was 27 years old and learned about red meat, wine, and cheese as being purine foods, high in purines. All I did was, I knew as a poor college student at the time, I knew every Friday I would grill a steak for me and my family. I would grill a big 12 to 16 ounce steak with baked potatoes and a salad. The baked potato had cheese and sour cream. My steak was red meat. So I had cheese and dairy, and I had the red meat that I was eating every weekend. And the salad had some shredded cheddar cheese on it too. All I did was actually select, I bet it's red meat is what I thought it was going to be. So I had attempted my own elimination diet, except I did something different. So come to the next Friday, I actually took a 12 to 16 ounce steak and I cut it. I actually ate the whole thing. Sorry. I ate it first. It was 12 to 16 ounce ribeye. I grilled it, ate it. That was on a Friday. On Monday, my big toe started killing me, and for 5 days it hurt. But eventually subsided by Friday. Friday night, I grill again, except I took the same size steak, cut it in half. So it's now only 8 ounces of steak, and I ate it with my salad and my potato that still had cheese and sour cream on it. Come Monday, zero pain. Tuesday, zero pain. Wednesday, zero pain. Thursday, zero pain. Friday, zero pain. Then I actually grilled again Friday night, and I got the 16 ounce steak and I ate it again, the whole thing with baked potato and salad. On the next Monday, 2 days later, my big toe's killing me all the way to Friday. All I had to do was figure out it was simply red meat in my case. And as long as I eat less than 10 ounces of steak, I don't ever get gout pain. And I've never had a single pain in 20 years. So anytime I have a steak, I just don't eat the 12 to 16 ounce sizes. I just cut it in half. If it wasn't that, and the changing of the size and the amount of steak I was eating didn't change my symptoms, I would have then went to the cheese and sour cream, and I would have started eliminating that and see if that was my culprit, and then just keep it out. That's just my example and my story. All right, so this is in the last minute of this presentation. All right, so summary: review and identify your high purine foods that you're personally consuming often and begin an elimination diet. Pick one and eliminate it, etc. And then supplement to lower uric acid in the body. And I have 5 supplements here that everybody should be taking while doing their elimination diet. Vitamin C, my recommendation is 2,000 milligrams per day minimum. NAC is 1,000 milligrams per day minimum. I do recommend 2,000 milligrams to everybody, but if you can do at least 1,000 milligrams per day, that's great. Quercetin at 500 milligrams per day, taurine at 500 milligrams per day, and magnesium at 500 milligrams per day. These are my recommendations of how to beat gout. Isn't that exciting? You can actually scan this QR code on the screen right here. It should take you to enter your email thing. If you want to subscribe to the Dr. Ardis Show and stay posted, I do have in the last 10 seconds or so a very exciting announcement that you get to look forward to. There's going to be a conference I'm going to hold in Dallas. It will be live streamed for audiences abroad, and then I will have some people be able to attend in person. It's going to be called Healing for the Ages. And AGES is an acronym. There's going to be 4 natural healers that are going to be involved as the main contributors and speakers at this event in Dallas, Texas. The date will be, we've already confirmed, will be September 9th, 2023. Will be the date for this one-day event. We hope you are very excited. It's called Healing for the Ages. And this is going to be us setting the stage for your understanding and foundational understanding of how the human body works, how the immune system works, how natural immunity works, and how best to feed the human body to keep you as healthy as possible, and your children and your parents and your grandparents for as long as possible. I'm Dr. Ardis. God bless you all, and I hope you have a great week.